Hey guys, in this video, I want to talk to you about the mind shift change that I had to endure to go from a spender to a saver, especially with my goal of reaching a net worth of $500,000. Because 7 years ago, guys, I had a net worth of zero. I had zero saved for retirement, and just in a short 6 years, I have went from zero to a net worth of a little to over $200,000. Now, I'm nowhere near my goal of reaching a net worth of $500,000. But in this video, guys, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the mind shift change that I had to go through, because I think sometimes it's so easy to think that you'll never reach a goal, especially when you're starting from scratch. So let's go ahead and talk about this, because I do think that it does take a mind shift change. And I want to share with you guys some of the things that helped me go from not saving a penny to now saving as much as I possibly can to help me reach my net worth of $500,000. So the first things first, guys, is when I started this goal, I didn't have a goal of reaching a net worth of $500,000. My first goal was to save $10,000. And once I reached that goal, then I started increasing it. Now I have a outrageous goal of $500,000. And the reason being is because I've seen and I believe now that it is possible. But when you're first starting out, you can't set your goal for the sky. You have to set something achievable, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging, especially if you're starting from scratch. Start small. Once you reach that small goal, then you can increase your goal to the next level. But once you start, just start out small, because your mind is never going to believe that you're going to be able to reach that goal if you set something really high. And trust me, I have been the person who has set ridiculous goals and have never reached them. And then it gets discouraging if you're working really hard to reach that goal, and for some reason you never reach it because you set it way out of the park. So starting small, guys, that has helped me. Another thing is, when it comes to finances, guys, like I told you guys, I didn't grow up around financial literacy. I didn't understand money. I didn't save and invest like I should have. I spent pretty much everything that I had when I had a job back in the day. I lived paycheck to paycheck my whole life. And so I didn't understand the whole concept of saving. And in order to get started, especially if you're late to saving for retirement, guys, and if you're on this channel, you're probably a Gen Xer and you're trying to catch up for retirement like me, you have to find ways to fill your head with the knowledge that you learn about finances. Nobody is going to teach you this stuff. If it's important enough for you to want to do it, it's going to have to be important enough for you to educate yourself and learn things. There's still a lot of things that I don't understand. There's still a lot of things that I don't know. That's why I'm constantly listening to podcasts about economics, investing, just anything to do with finances, guys. I find myself trying to learn everything that I can about it. And sometimes I have to admit, guys, it is like way over my head, but I am trying to learn as much as I can, because nobody is going to teach you this stuff. And if you're not willing to invest your time and your knowledge into it, well, then it's not important enough for you. And then you should set a different goal, because if that goal is not important, you're not going to do whatever it takes to get there. So that's another thing that I have realized, is that it has to be important enough for me to want to learn about it. If it's not important for you to want to learn, for you to want to immerse yourself into it, then pick a different goal, guys, because it's going to be really hard to achieve a goal that you're not excited about, that you don't want to learn about, that you don't want to feed your mind about. So make sure that it's something that's important to you. And then once you find a goal that's important to you, guys, go all in. Learn as much as you possibly can, because if you're excited about that, you're never going to get bored about that topic. And for me, guys, financial literacy is something that I'm really passionate about, because I know that I'm getting older every day, and it doesn't matter whether or not I want to retire. It's going to come. The day is going to come. And I always say, guys, I know a lot of people think of retirement as an age number, but the truth is, retirement is not an age number. It is a financial number. Once you have the money that you need to pay all your obligations and live the lifestyle that you want to live, at that point, you are ready to retire. It doesn't have to do with an age. I know a lot of people say that it has to do with when you're old enough to retire. And those are people that are relying 100% on Social Security, or maybe not 100% on Social Security, but they're talking about when you can file for Social Security or when you can actually tap into or apply for, I think it's Medicare. But for those of us who understand that it's just a financial number, it all boils down to when your finances are in order, you no longer have any debt. You can survive without having to go to a job and not worry about anything. Then at that point, that's when you can retire. And that's what I understand now. I always thought it boiled down to how old I was, but that's not the case, guys. And then the second thing, like I said, guys, mind shift change, and not just minds, just changing your mind. It's also taking action. For me, one of the best things that I understood once I started saving and investing was I realized that a job just wasn't enough for me. Now, a job is a great way to get started, and I am grateful I have a full-time job, guys. A full-time job allows me to invest in a 401k with the company match. Plus, I get to have health insurance benefits. I have an HSA. So there are some perks for a job. But since I started my journey of trying to reach a net worth of at least $500,000, guys, I have realized that I would be nowhere where I am today if it hadn't been for my self-employment, my business. Because I think with a business, guys, not only do you have a lot more perks, but you can make a lot more money. See, with a job is I go to work. It doesn't matter how hard I work. I can work as much as I want, as hard as I want, but that pay is going to remain the same. That employer is going to tell me what I can and cannot make. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. I have a job and I'm grateful for the job, but I realize that the job is just a job. It's not going to help me get ahead. Now, if I made 6 figures per year, then maybe I would be doing really well, but I don't make 6 figures, guys. I don't earn a lot of money. So my job is not going to be the savior that I'm looking for. What I have realized that is a business. When I have a business, I can make as much as I want, as little as I want. And the government also gives you certain write-offs that you can do because of the business. And then because you have a self-employed job where you're making money through a 1099, you can actually invest in different retirement vehicles. I have the solo 401k. And while I don't know off the top of my head how much I can put into the solo 401k, but I can make a contribution as the employer and the employee, which far outweighs the amount of money that I can put in the solo 401k versus just the employee 401k. So there are a lot of perks to having a business and both a job. And while at one point in my life, guys, I just had a business and didn't have a job, what I have learned is that even though I prefer working for myself, with the type of business that I chose, it is very unreliable. So at this point in my life, guys, I am very grateful to have both the job and a little bit of extra time to work on my business. So that's what I have learned, guys, is the mind shift change. You have to understand that the goal that you are looking forward to or trying to reach is very important to you. And if it's important to you, then you have to learn as much as you possibly can about it. Once you understand what the goal is and what it requires you to do, or you know you want to pursue that goal, start off by setting a small, realistic goal at first. Once you reach that small, realistic goal and you start setting higher and higher goals, once you start seeing yourself reaching those goals, it's going to become more motivating. You're going to actually look forward to working towards that goal. But start off really small. Set those realistic goals and then keep increasing that goal. Then once you see yourself reaching those stepping stones, it's going to encourage you to keep going. And you're going to realize that the goal that you set for yourself, guys, is very realistic. And if you keep going down the same path that you're going, you will eventually reach your goal. And then the last thing I want to share with you guys is that my mind shift change, one of the things that helped me shift my mind to actually start working towards my goal more seriously is because I knew that if I didn't take the changes if I didn't make the changes today to help me catch up for retirement, I knew that there's not going to be anybody there to rescue me when I get older. See, I watch a lot of videos on retirees, today's retirees, and I watched this YouTube video the other day. Excuse me. I watched this YouTube video the other day on CBS, and they were talking about to these retirees who actually had retired, but a lot of them found themselves going back to work at an older age because they either A, didn't have enough retirement saved up, or they had more debt because than they should have carried into retirement. So if one of the best things you can do, guys, if you can't increase your retirement savings right now, one of the best things you can do is to try to get out of debt. If you go into retirement with debt, it's going to be a lot harder for you than somebody who has the same amount of money as saved up as you, but doesn't have any debt. So you want to make sure that you try to pay off as much debt as you possibly can. And so that's what we've been focusing on as well, too. Not only saving and investing, but we've been paying off our debt. And we actually just paid off our last school loan. So now at this time right now in this video, guys, we have no debt. We do charge our credit cards every month because that's what we use to live on, but we make sure that those credit cards are paid off every month. If we don't have the money in our checking account at the end of the month or during pay period to buy something, it does not get put on the credit card, because if we can't pay that credit card off when that payment posts or before the due date, we don't do it. We don't charge it, because we have learned that credit card debt or consumer debt is one of the worst things that you can do or have while you're trying to save and invest for retirement. And it's even worse if you're trying to retire and you're having to hold debt. So that was the mind shift change for me, guys. And one more thing, guys, before I leave, is the last thing that I have seen and was one of the biggest mind shift changes, because as you know, guys, I am working full time right now. And I always have hated being an employee. I've always wanted to be self-employed. I like calling my own shots. I like the flexibility. I just like the whole being self-employed, guys. Nobody tells me what to do. I can make as much as I want. I can work when I want. The flexibility. I mean, it's just a lot nicer than being an employee. But I have realized that based on all these videos that I am watching about retirees going back to work when they're older, I wanted to make sure that we weren't in that position when we got older, that because I chose not to work in my 50s, that I now have to go back to work at 70. Had I gone to work in my 50s and saved as much as I possibly can, then I wouldn't be in the position, or I won't have to worry about being in the position where when I'm 70, if I make it that long, to where I have to go back to work. Now, if you want to work because you want something to do or you want to get out of the house and socialize, that's completely different. But having to go back to work because you have to pay your debt or you have obligations, that's not a position that I want to be in. And I'm sure it's not a position that you want to be in. So realizing that it takes a lot of different shifts in your mind to be able to pursue a goal of trying to catch up for retirement, or whatever it is that you're trying to catch up to, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, guys. I'm assuming that if you're watching this, guys, you're probably a Gen Xer trying to catch up for retirement. And if you are behind the 8 ball, it is so easy to throw your hands up in frustration and just say, you know what? What's the point? I'm already in my 50s. I have nothing saved for retirement, or I'm in my late 40s. I have nothing saved for retirement. What is the point? Well, guys, I mean, that's how I felt. That's exactly what I felt. I thought, you know what? It doesn't matter. My mom's living on Social Security alone. She's making it. Why can't I make it? But the truth is, guys, everything's getting more expensive and nobody's coming to save you. So if you don't make these changes in your mind, and not just your mind, guys, you also have to take the action. But once you actually come to terms with what it takes with your mind and understand, okay, this is what I need to start doing. And I believe that you would take the action that it takes to reach that goal, whether it's working another job, working a part-time business. And you know what, guys, I know a lot of people say, well, I shouldn't have to work more than my 8 hours. I completely agree. I hate having to work a job and then coming home and working a business. But I see the importance of how much I've been able to get ahead because of my business. And if it hadn't have been for my business, guys, like I said, I would be nowhere near what I am right now. So for me, guys, it means that I have to give up some TV time. It means that I have to give up some of my freedom on the weekends or the weekdays so that I can go ahead and continue trying to strive for my goal, because I know there's not going to be anybody to come save me. I don't want to be a burden on anybody else. And it's up to me to do whatever it is that's going to require me to take the steps so that I can continue striving and reaching for that goal of a net worth of at least $500,000. Now, I know that I might not reach it. There's no guarantee that I'm going to reach it. Plus, everything that I own, guys, is in stocks. So besides my Bitcoin, but so it's very volatile. So I can have a net worth of over $200,000. We don't know what the stock market's going to do tomorrow. It can go up, it can go down. So it's very volatile. So right now it's looking pretty, but we don't know what it's going to look like from a year from now. But the only chance that I have as someone like me who doesn't have any inheritance, is not wealthy, and really doesn't have a whole lot going on except for all the time and energy that they put into trying to reach my goal, it's all up to me. So the only chance that I have, guys, is to invest in the stock market. I can't do real estate. I've done real estate before, and I know that's not what I want to do. So really and truly, it's just the stock market and Bitcoin. So it is what it is. And I'm going to continue down the path that what I'm going, because I truly believe that I do have a chance of reaching a net worth of $500,000. Plus, what other choice do I have, guys? If I don't do something today, my tomorrow is going to look like crap. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to share these mind shift changes with you, because if you're in the same boat as I was 7 years ago, then you're probably thinking, there's no way that I'll be able to catch up for retirement. I'm already behind the 8 ball. Well, I'm here to tell you guys, you can do it, but it's going to take a different mindset, a different personality, a different set of actions than what you're doing right now. And if you are living paycheck to paycheck right now, guys, then maybe you have to think about doing something different, either finding a higher paying job, or trying to pick up more hours at your job, or trying to start an online bit, or trying to start a business of some type. And I know life's not fair, guys, but nobody ever said life was fair, and life is going to be what you're going to make it. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to share this with you because I know how frustrating it can be when you're setting a goal and you don't ever know if you're going to reach it. But if you keep taking the action that I just mentioned, you work on setting small goals at the beginning, you work on your mindset, whether that means learning about the knowledge, understanding what it takes, researching what other people are doing right now, how people are being effective with what it is that you want, and just understanding what it's going to take, whether that's finding another business, picking up more hours, or doing something to increase your income, and then just doing the small things over and over. It's not pretty, guys. All I do is make sure that every month, whenever we get paid, we're putting money into our savings and investments. That's it. There's nothing special about it. We've had to cut down on our spending. We still make sure that we take a vacation or two every year. We don't want to sacrifice today for tomorrow, because there is no guarantee for tomorrow. But you have to be able to sacrifice and not buy everything and anything that you want, because you have to make sure that you're saving for tomorrow as well too. So anyway, guys, if you guys have any more tips, if you want to share with me how you've been catching up for retirement, or mind shift sets, or any type of behavioral or mindset behaviors that you guys had to endure to be able to pursue your goal, let me know down in the comments below, guys. And if you enjoyed this journey, and if you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure you click on that subscribe, click on the like button, and make sure you join me on my journey to reaching a net worth of at least $500,000 so that we can retire with dignity. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a great one. Bye.